Hey y'all, it's Jen for the Love of Iris. Welcome to another Valentine video. Today's project is this one, and it is a very unique shaped box. And inside, I have put a ring pop for my child, for a treat for a Valentine, whatever. The box dimension measures 2.5 inches square, and at its deepest point it is 2.5 inches, so it's a very large box. It's definitely a unique shape. So this one I covered with pattern paper, and then the one I'm going to make today, I'm going to use just a piece of designer series paper so you can see the difference. You will need a piece of 12 by 12 actually, but you're going to cut it down to 11.5 by 7 7/8. If you're in the UK, you may be able to use an A2. I don't know what size y'all's paper is, but ours is only 8.5 by 11. So that extra skosh, for us in the United States, we're going to have to use a 12 by 12. Okay, so let's get out our scoring tool. Now, if you have directional paper like I do, you're going to want to put the pattern paper in with the part that you want at the bottom of the box on the left. Okay, so the top of your box, the pattern that you want. So I want my hearts, falling down. So the top of my box, that's going to be this piece of paper going this direction. Okay, so on the narrow side, on the 7 7/8 side, you're going to score at 2.5, 4 5/8, 7 1/8. Okay, now if your pattern paper is non-directional, then it doesn't matter which way you put your paper in. But for me, because it is directional, that's the way I need it to be. So you've got 3 score lines here. You're going to rotate your paper so that this narrow bit is at the top, okay? You're going to score to the second score line, which is this one. Don't go all the way. You're just scoring to here, all right? We're going to score at 2.5. If I can get my paper in there. Just to the second score line. Okay, 2.5, 5 to the second score line, 7.5 to the second score line, and 10 to the second score line. All right. Now, we're going to rotate our cardstock completely around, and we're going to score to the first score line now at 1/4, and this is tough on a trimmer. If you had the, I should have brought my Simply Scored scoring tool, but I didn't. So 1/4 just to the first score line now, all right? 2 3/4 to the first score line, 5 1/4 to the first score line, 7 3/4 to the first score line, and 10 1/4. And don't worry about writing these measurements down. They will be on my blog. Don't anyone panic, okay? All right, so now let's remove our scoring tool. We are through with our scoring. I know it seemed complicated, but it's really not. Let's see. If I flip it over, can you see a little bit better? Maybe. What we're going to do is this middle panel has no scoring at all in it, okay? We've got lines here and lines here, but we have nothing in the middle here. What we're going to do is we're going to take a ruler and a stylus, and we are going to connect this point, this score line, to this score line. Let me zoom in and see if you can see that. Let me flip it over. Maybe you can see it better on this side. Okay, so we've got one score line there and one score line there. We are going to connect those two. Okay, and we are going to go all the way across, connecting the bottom score line to the top score line. So we're going to essentially create triangles all the way across. Okay, Can you see that? The triangle there? We're going to create that all the way across the paper. So this bottom score line to this top score line, okay? And again, this bottom score line to this top score line, okay? Bottom to top, bottom to top. Are y'all seeing that? Are you with me? Following me? Bottom to top and bottom to top. Okay, so if I take this, we've got now triangles all the way across this middle panel, right? And then we've got our vertical and horizontal score lines. All right, let's bring this back out. Maybe. Brilliant. Okay, so there's going to be some bits that we are going to remove. And I will have pictures on my blog too, so don't panic, okay? We are going to remove this bit here, 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 this bit, this bit, and this bit. Okay? Can y'all see that? Okay, I'm going to pause there for a second so y'all can see. All right, now I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to start hacking away. So this bit here, all of this, and it's easier to remove before we burnish because it will make the burnishing much easier. Okay. Okay. Okay, so now we have a little bit more chopping to do. Everybody with me still? Okay, on this bottom, we're going to just cut up these. This is going to be, again, like I said, the bottom of your box. So we're cutting up these here. All right, got it? Okay, now we're going to cut up this one as well. This is going to be the top of your box. We're going to round these corners here in a minute. We want to taper in this because this is going to be the flaps on the inside. Okay, taper in this one and then taper in this one as well because this is going to be the other flap. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about here. I'll bring in my example and I'll show you. Okay, so here is this part right here is this part right here. Okay, these two flaps right here are this piece and this piece. Are these flaps here, all right? And these four are your bottom. Does that make sense now? Everybody still with me? Okay, so let's round the corner of our flap. Got it? Okay, and now we can start to burnish our score lines. So let's get our bone folder out and let's start to burnish. It's easier for me to do these first and then work on the middle section where the triangles are. All right? And just fold and burnish. Fold and burnish. Fold and burnish. It's like a little song. Clean up, everybody, everywhere. Y'all remember that song? Clean up, Everybody do your share. Fold and burnish. Everybody fold it now. Fold and burnish. Watch me, I will show you how. I'm such a nerd. Okay, on this last one, oops, I didn't do this last one. That's okay. We'll make it work. We'll pretend that I scored that one. Are y'all watching here? Can you see even what I'm doing? This is going to be your tab. This is where you're going to put your adhesive. The whole box is held together with this tab right here. Just a little bit of adhesive. You can use tear and tape. You can use Tombow. You can use whatever. So I'm going to use tear and tape. Okay. Excellent. And again, I found with tear and tape, if you just rub over it slightly with your bone folder first, it sticks so much better. And the tape releases so much easier. So that's just a little tip for you too. Okay, now what you want to do is this tab right here is going to connect with this part of the box right here. And you're just going to line your score line up, okay? And it's a bit fiddly, but if you just get your hand in there on one side and then on the other, you can stick it down. Now, some of you may be more comfortable with Tombow because you have some wiggle room. You won't have to worry about trying to line it up on the first go. I'm not really stressed about it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 flaps. The bottom of the box doesn't really matter what's the front of your box because it's kind of such a wonky shape. So just pick one flap and add some tear and tape to it, or whatever adhesive you like to use. I would not use a glue stick or Elmer's glue or something along those lines. Paste. Can't use paste. Did you eat paste when you were a kid? Maybe that's what's wrong with me. Okay, I'm removing my tape backing here. Alrighty, stick this on down there. And ta-da! We have a beautiful box. If I can get this side in there. What did I do? Oh, nothing. I didn't do anything. I just didn't get it in there. Isn't that cool? I just love this. Oh, hold on. I got a ring pop for this one too. My kids love ring pops. Do you like ring pops? Do y'all have ring pops in other countries, or are they strictly for the USA? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I'm curious. Now, since this is designer series paper, it is thin. I would not recommend sticking like a heavy candle in it. If you want to do cardstock and use pattern paper to line it, then you can by all means do that. But I would not do that with this, with just the designer series paper. It's too lightweight to hold anything real heavy. I use the stitched framelits in the oval. So let me get out the Big Shot. I should have had this ready. I'm sorry. And I'm going to use Very Vanilla and Blushing Bride this time. So let me get out a scrap of Very Vanilla here. There we go. Oops, let me move this here just so you can see. And the Stitched Shapes framelits, I used the oval. I think it was the second one. Yeah, it was the second one. And the stamp set is Painter's Palette, I believe. So let me get that out while I'm rolling this. I don't have that out either. Woo, I'm losing stuff. Okay. Alrighty, there's my framelit and my shape and my stamp set. It is Painter's Palette. I used a little Expression of Love. Again, not Valentine themed, but useful nonetheless. A block. Let's get some Blushing Bride ink. Ink this up really well. And you could stamp it first and then cut it out. It's probably what I should have done, but I'm not prepared. Oh, look, I made a mess. Let's flip it over. Let's not stamp it down quite so hard. Okay, that's better. And that's going to go on there. I tied with the other one a little bow with some baker's twine. And I'm going to cover that up, that little mark that I had. This is our white baker's twine. And I used a enamel shape. So let me get out a Blushing Bride enamel shape here. If I can find Blushing Bride. Blushing Bride, there you are. And I thought the heart was applicable because that was just so stinking cute. So let's take this little heart here. This would be cute as a wedding favor too, huh? And think about that. And glue that down, and there you have it. So I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope you try it out. It looks a little confusing and it looks a little intimidating, but I promise once you make one, it's really not. It's just really super cool. Talk to you next time. Bye.